checkpoint, 70 miles off the border, complete joke. And we've documented in a lot of research across the country, California, Arizona, Vermont, Washington State. They'll go 100 miles deep with these, and it is just a bonanza of federal harassment. And now they're setting up more everywhere. They just, looks like they just directed that car to pull over for a deeper search right here. Oh, he's telling me not to tape him. Hold on.
You ask your passenger to please not record anybody here, please.
But you're taping us.
That's for security purposes.
For security, you're violating my Fourth Amendment. I'm going to give this guy what he wants.
Just asking.
Yeah, and I know you're asking. I got a First Amendment. Now it's like everything's like a big airport. Hey, bro. Hey, good. Since he gave me a speech about my camera, I'm just going to. I'm a radio talk show host. I don't like domestic checkpoints, and I'm going to document this. So, listen. I'm the one exposing that the major drug cartels work for the U.S. government. Okay. So I don't like this.
Okay, can you let me do my job?
Which is what? Stop cowboys? That, you know.
How many on board, sir?
6.
Okay. Do you mind if I come on board and look at everybody and make sure?
Oh, no, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, but go ahead.
You're going to let him come in?
No, I'm not going to. No, I'm telling him it's a violation.
Do you mind if I come in?
No, I'm telling him it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I want to illustrate what goes on in America. Oh, it's fine. Start videotaping. You know how to videotape? You're violating my Fourth Amendment.
Oh, I'm not. I'm standing outside the vehicle.
Yeah.
I just need to see everybody, make sure they're U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
That's what we do. United States citizen, ma'am?
Of course I am.
United States citizen?
Yes.
Where are the other people on board?
My children.
All United States citizens?
Yep.
How old are they?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Whatever. Got it straight. I'll put my seatbelt back on.
Sir, you are a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You guys like going on trips with Daddy? Honey, you were giving us your take on it, so I want you to give us your view on what just happened.
We're just driving along, and there's an illegal, unconstitutional checkpoint that you're forced to drive through, and they terrorize families with their uniforms and a giant dog. People driving away from the beach or wherever they're traveling from, just their families, have to go through a goon station, and then we're filming it, and they come and tell us to stop filming them, which is absurd.
Yeah, we're in our property, our little mobile home, our castle, and
they're in their uniform. They're there to scare you and to make you feel afraid. The kids are scared in the back, and
I think that's why I got my hackles up. They were saying, we're scared. And I told them everything's fine, no big deal.
And, well, they know. Everybody knows inherently that they have the right to travel freely, and that if somebody, some goon in some soldier uniform with a big scary dog is going to stop them and stop their car, obviously that's going to freak anybody out, child or adult. Thank God we know our constitutional rights and that it's a violation of our Fourth Amendment for them to even be anywhere near.
But even East Germany and places didn't have internal checkpoints. You had the checkpoint, and that was basically it. I mean, you grew up in Europe a lot, and well, your dad worked for the agriculture department, and I mean, over there they had a border checkpoint at the country, but not 70 miles in.
Certainly not. It's like being in Mexico or something with big goons with machine guns that stop your car. It's like being in a third world country with.
There's some kind of other checkpoint. What is that, Richard?
That was a truck scale, but they're closed right now.
Yeah, just checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint.
And that the guy was so angry and telling us to turn off our cameras. Nobody can tell you to stop filming as you're driving down the road with your camera.
Well, that's the issue, is they have all those cameras surveilling us, but then they didn't want me to just be sitting there, and this is a little bitty handheld camera.
And they're there to make you feel like you're a prisoner when you're driving down the road in your property with your family.
Well, we were just attempting to test out the RV because it is a used 11-year-old RV that the Infowars.com operation got, so I can travel around the country for the End the Fed demonstrations that are coming up. And I was kind of playing along with that guy's joke. I was like, oh, no, I don't mind if you violate my Fourth Amendment. And then I was going to tell him as he tried to come in, you're violating my Fourth Amendment. I'm against this. And I do this under protest. And I was planning to sue them because it's on record that the ATF ships the guns into Mexico and ships the drugs into this country, and that certain cartels are exempt and are allowed to ship it in. And I said 70 miles. Once we got home and do check the Google, it's 99 plus miles from our hotel, which is like 10 miles north of the border. So it was over 100. And they supposedly now can set these up all over the country and harass people. This has nothing to do with security. It's time to decriminalize all drugs. Some are good, some are bad, some are not good for you, whatever. The point is decriminalize all of it. Making it illegal drives up the price, and that's why the big banks lobbied to make drugs illegal, was so they can make huge profits off the black market and find a way to pack all their prisons full of innocent people. A modern form of slavery, and it's wrong. But I was ready to have them force their way on, even though my children were there. Because my children have no future if we don't defeat this now. And I watch car after car with that drug dog going in it and just violating people, families in their cars, their kids learn how to be slaves. We're going to come back from break and go to Webster, Griffin, Tarpley, and then Dr. Corsi's coming up with some bombshell info. I can't believe I'm in this position. I can't believe that I'm the best there is when it comes to fighting the corrupt system. I don't think of myself as anybody. I just know that all over the country, they're putting people in prison for videotaping police while they surveil us. And here are the feds out of their jurisdiction, 99 plus miles, almost 100, into the U.S., and the guy walks up and says, don't tape us. When I showed you the footage, just cameras everywhere. This is government servants trying to teach us that we're criminals, that we're wrong, that we're bad. They want to videotape us, but we're not supposed to videotape them. But if we don't take these risks for liberty, we invite total tyranny, and it must be resisted. Speaking of tyranny, the establishment is posing as the saviors of our society right now in a very scary way. And Michael Moore, who's made hundreds of millions of dollars, is out calling for an end of capitalism. Communism conservatively killed more than 200 million people last century alone. Roseanne Barr, who, by the way, has contacted our office, looks like she's going to be on the show, has a book out where she's dressed up like Mao, and she's promoting re-education camps and things. This is the banksters selling us one tyranny over another. They create the crisis, they offer the solution. Let's go ahead and go to those clips.
Michael,
we're going to come back.
What do you think about ending the Federal Reserve banking system, the private banking system?
I think there's a larger issue. There's a larger issue to deal with.
And the Fed is a private bank.
And capitalism, that's the problem. Capitalism. Capitalism has to go.
Because I believe in a maximum wage of...
Back it up so we can play her clip. I mean, come on, folks. Come on. You're not stupid. You're not idiots. Luke Radowski, our own Luke Radowski, shot that interview with Moore. Crony capitalists who aren't free market steal our tax money to pay for their Ponzi schemes. And this guy gets up and says capitalism is the problem. Our problem is we've gotten away from capitalism. Free market created the wealthiest country in history. Communism creates people standing in line for 2 days for some sausages. Let's go to the next clip. Max Kaiser with Roseanne Barr, where she talks about re-education camps.
Maximum wage of $100 million, and if they're unable to live on that amount, then they should, you know, go to the re-education camps, and if that doesn't help, then be beheaded.
You've also said in your statement, I'm asking the United States government to raise my taxes. You also tweeted, I think we can agree that we want the dollars out of politics to raise taxes on millionaires and prevent cuts on the most vulnerable. But you know that many Republicans in Congress...
Millionaires are yesterday's 100,000-aires with dollar devaluation. The mega banks are always calling for taxes on the middle class to get rid of it. They're offshore and exempt. The elites are exempt. This is just incredible. We're going to go to break and come back with Tarpley and then Dr. Corsi. Stay with us. It's InfoWars Nightly News.
Obama is notoriously a liar.
We need to go to where the real architecture of government is, and it's not in a president.
Wall Street has hijacked Washington in broad daylight.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election. The elite are using Obama to pacify the public so they can usher in the North American Union by stealth, launch a new Cold War, and continue the occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan.
The globalists are outside all the nations. That gives them safety, and they play countries off against each other.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Partnership and cooperation among nations is not a choice. It is the only way.
What they're doing is using the existence of the United States to act out their Wall Street fantasies of world domination and maintaining their capital structures and maintaining their system of looting.
The fight that this country has been waging since its inception is for the central bankers not to take over the country.
President Barack Obama is only the tool of a larger agenda.
Senator Obama had a desire to do some meetings. Others had a desire to meet with him tonight in a private way, and that's what we're doing.
Presidential candidate Barack Obama was publicly criticizing the North American Free Trade Agreement in a bid for votes, but privately telling Canadian officials not to worry about it.
If you talk to our generals, they are desperate for is a civilian counterpart to our military force.
What do you call this thing where you get this false sense of gratification, but because a black man is in office, everything's gonna be all right? No, everything's not gonna be all right.
So I know how unpopular it is to be seen as helping banks right now, especially when everyone is suffering in part from their bad decisions. I promise you, I get it.
The Obama deception. The truth strikes back. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
We are back on this Monday, October 3rd, 2011 edition of InfoWars Nightly News. We're about to be speaking with Dr. of History and also economist Webster Griffin Tarpley, best-selling author of George W. Bush, the unauthorized biography, also has written 3 tomes on Barack Obama with stunning accuracy, predicting exactly what would unfold under this Wall Street puppets operations. And then coming up after this interview, we've got Dr. Jerome Corsi joining us on the economy, the birth certificate, and so much more. I was talking to him earlier today, and he said that he does believe the establishment is going to try to break up the United States and that they may even try to suspend the elections. Strong words from Dr. Corsi. That's coming up. Now, Webster Griffin Tarpley joined us last week, and he said, look, we've got George Soros connections all over this. This Occupy Wall Street is basically Wall Street trying to take over any movements that would form against them preemptively. And since then, the Drudge Report had this as their big headline yesterday, linking to our analysis. It's come out, Occupy Wall Street protesters call for totalitarian government, re-election of Barack Obama, and then we have